Simplify 2x to the 5 y cubed, and then that's all raised to the power 3. So the coefficient, I remember I have to cube it, so 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. X to the 5 raised to the power 3 is x to the 15. Y to the power 3 raised to the power 3 is y to the power 9. 18 divided by 9 for the coefficient gives me 2. X to the 5 divided by x on its own, which is the same as x to the 1, will give me x to the 4. Y to the 5 divided by y to the 3 gives me y to the 2. This is called the difference of two squares because you've got two square numbers here. The fact that that's x squared and so it's an algebraic square and that's a numerical square doesn't matter. It can be either. So we've got the difference of two squares because they're taking one away from the other. So it's just x plus 7, x minus 7. Because when you expand that out, the plus 7x and the minus 7x will disappear. And this is the same thing here, except we're going to go for 8x plus 1 and 8x minus 1. Because then the plus 8x and the minus 8x will disappear. Right, if x equals minus 3, find the value of this. So I'm going to write it all out. 100 plus 5 times by minus 3 squared. So then I'm going to write out 100 plus, okay, minus 3 squared is 9. Be careful with the negatives. 100 plus 5 times 9, so it's 100 plus 45, which is 145. I'm going to again write this whole thing out. So I've got 5 times by 3 squared, take away 4 times by 3, take away 2. Do the squaring first. It's 5 times by 9, take away 12, take away 2. So I've got 45, take away 12, take away 2 is the same as take away 14, so it's going to be 31. If the nth term of the sequence is 2 times 3 to the n minus 1, I'm going to substitute the 3 in where the n is. So I've got 2 times by 3 to the 3 minus 1, which gives me 2 times by 3 to the 2, which gives me 2 times by 9, which gives me 18. The nth term of a sequence is 3 times 4 to the n minus 1. So 3 times 4 to the 2 minus 1 would be the same as 3 times 4 to the 1, which is the same as 3 times 4, which is just 12. Right, bit of estimation. Now with this one, we have to round to one significant figure with estimation. So actually with this one, it's going to be 0.9. That's that one rounded to one significant figure. And then this one rounded to one significant would actually round up just to 1. So my answer is just going to be 0.9. One significant figure, this would be 30. This would be 10. This would be 0.2. Okay, so 30 take away 10 divided by 0.2 is the same as 20 divided by 0.2, which is the same as 200 divided by 2, which is 100. Just so that you're clear what I've done here, I've just used equivalent fractions to get that denominator as a whole number to make it easy for myself. Right, find the highest common factor of 28 and 105. So let's do a quick prime factorization of these two. So 28 is 7 times by 4. 4 is 2 times by 2. So that's 2 times 2 times 7. And for 105, I've got 21 times by 5, which I can then split this out into 7 times by 3, so that is 3 times by 5 times by 7. So the highest common factor is the numbers which would be in the middle here. So in the middle here you'd have 3 from, oh no, you don't have 3, you just got 7 there, haven't you? There's no 3 shared, there's no 5 shared, there's no 2 shared, it's just 7, so my answer is 7. And the lowest common multiple of 56 and 48, I'm going to do prime factor decomposition again. I'll use 8 times by 7 here, 7 is a prime. I'm going to just split this out into 2 times 2 times 2. You could go for 4 times 2 and then split the 4 out into 2 times 2. And for 48, I'm going to go 24 and 2. And I'll go 6 times by 4, and I'll go 2 times 2, and 3 times 2. And I'm going to draw myself a little Venn diagram for the lowest common multiple. So, this is for 56, and this is for 48. And let's see what we got. If I just write this out, 2 times 2 times 2 times 7, and this one's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Right, there are 3 shared 2's, so they're all going to go in the middle. I could put 8 in there, or I could put 2 times 2 times 2. Then, I've got times 7 on this one, so for 56 I've got 7 there. For 48, I've got another 2 times 3 here, so I've got another 6 there. So I'm going to multiply that all together, 8 times 7 times 6, and that gives me 336 as the lowest common multiple. Right. Question 13, expand and simplify. I've got x plus 7 times by x plus 7, which is going to give me x squared plus 7x plus another 7x plus 49. Which gives me x squared plus 14x plus 49. 4x minus 5 all squared gives me 4x minus 5 times by 4x minus 5, which gives me 16x squared. Take away 20x, take away another 20x, add 25. Be careful of that. Minus 5 times minus 5 gives you plus 25. So it gives me 16x squared, take away 40x plus 25. Standard form, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.21 times 10 to the minus 5. 1.57. Okay, I'm going to add some zeros, and I'm going to go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 0.0000157. You okay, Arjun? Right, next question, question 17. A block has a mass of 420 grams and a volume of 60 centimeters cubed. Calculate the density. Density is mass divided by volume, which is 420 divided by 60, which is 42 divided by 6, which is 7, get the units right, grams per centimeter cubed. Right, calculate the volume. Volume is going to be equal to mass divided by density. So, I've got mass 225. I'm going to divide by 9, and that's going to give me my volume, and that's going to give me 25 centimeters cubed. Right, changing the subject. I want to make x the subject. First thing I'm going to do is I do not want that denominator. I'm going to times both sides by b. That gives me yb equals a minus x. Now, I want it to be all positive values of x. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add x to both sides, because I'd rather have positive values of x. Oh, not times by it. Add x to both sides. So I've got yb plus x equals a. So it doesn't matter if it's x plus yb or yb plus x. What I can now do is just subtract yb from both sides. So that's going to give me x equals a minus yb. Last one, take the square root both sides. That's going to give me square root y equals ax minus b. I'm going to add b to both sides. gives me root y plus b equals ax, and the last thing to do is divide by a, and that gives me root y plus b divided by a equals x.